Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Show. I'm your host Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia. Today we are with Rick Medlen. And Rick is the founder and CEO of GarageSkins. And Rick, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, Rick, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you are surrounded with that inspired you to get into GarageSkins business?
Well, it's a brand new business, and the only thing that really inspired me was the fact that I wanted this product, and the product wasn't out there. I searched high and low for it. When I had a home built back in 2005 here in the Eugene, Oregon area, uh, really wanted a nice garage door, one of the high-end wood garage doors. I'd seen a few of them and really fell in love with them, and I wanted that on my house. But I started searching around price-wise, and the only thing I could find was an $8,500 door plus. And of course, the builder didn't want to do that because it required, new hardware, new header, all of the stuff that happens when you really upgrade a garage door to full wood. So I did what everybody else did. I just settled for a steel garage door, and I just hated the look. And I looked around, everybody else had a steel garage door. And I just thought, there's got to be a better way. I had watched them build my house. They used things like cultured stone, which is a very lightweight veneer stone that goes on. It looks just like real rock, but it's not. It's very lightweight, very inexpensive. They did the same thing with the shingles. They did some stamped and stained concrete. All of these products that really just overlaid the basic structure and made it look much nicer, but at a great budget cost. But I looked around and there was nothing like that on the market for a garage door. So I'm an old engineer. I thought, there's a problem, and that's a problem worth solving. Let's figure something out that will actually make a garage door look like a really high-end garage door, but not have to break the bank to do it, and certainly not have to come back in and trash an old garage door that's perfectly functional. That we don't want to put those into the waste stream. We don't want to have to recycle them. The garage door works great. Let's just put something on the outside of it that looks really, really, really nice. So after about 3 years of hard work, trial and error, all of these things, it came up with something that really worked great. And what that is, in fact, if you can scroll down a little bit there, it's real wood veneer, but it's only 0.5 millimeter thick. And it goes over very light foam core. And we can make these dimensional panels that you see here. Those panels are then workable just like wood. We can make them almost any size or shape that we want. But then, of course, comes the issue of how do you put this on a garage door and make it stay? You've got real wood that's exposed to the elements out there. Very hard to do because the wood's going to move, the garage door underneath it is going to move, and you don't want these things fighting each other all the time. So we came up with the idea of taking these panels that we've created, and sorry, there's a little bit of glare here, but you can see that these are real wood veneer. They're made to look exactly like real wood, but this right here, it weighs just about as much as the top of a Coca-Cola can, just a little plastic screw off top. Very, very lightweight thing. We've taken and inset in the very back of them rare earth magnets that snap directly onto metal. And so on your metal garage door, you just walk up, snap these things right on it, and it stays. It's almost like somebody putting their hand on it and pushing and holding against it. Started looking at this thinking, you know what, this is a good idea. This is not just for my garage door. So I went out, talked to a few people, of course, friends and family said, is this something that you would be interested in commercially? And we were just absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of people that said, you make this, we'll buy it. So, okay, let's do that. So we started making them. I quit my job. I was making over $100,000 a year in a sales world. Quit the job, cashed in the 401k, opened up a shop in Eugene, Oregon, and started making these things. We ordered in veneer, ordered in the foam core, the magnets, got everything done. Took about 4 months to put the facility together to where it was production ready. Made a bunch of them, put them on the market, sold 6 of them the first week, realized about $6,000 in initial revenue, and then they hit. We put these on garage doors, actually from Ohio all the way to Southern California, in those 6 sales, and they immediately started destroying themselves. They started cracking, warping, all of these horrible things. I would get these pictures. It was just like, oh, now what do we do? So we shut the website down, gave everybody their money back. We didn't want to destroy the name by just, taking advantage of anybody. So everybody got their money back, really stepped back, just took a breath and said, okay, the idea is sound. We like the idea, but the execution is not there yet. So we're not ready for market yet. So we started getting to work. It's like, what are the problems? The problems are the wood veneer. It's real wood. You put a piece of wood out in the elements, you let the UV hit it, you let the humidity fluctuations, temperature fluctuations hit it. It's going to just warp, destroy itself. And of course, it's only attached to very, very lightweight foam core behind it. So there's nothing really structurally to keep it in place like plywood would be. So it warps. It was horrible. We searched and we searched and we searched for a solution to this. And we finally ran into a company that's out of the Netherlands. They provide wood veneer that is actually environmentally stabilized so that it doesn't absorb moisture. It's UV proof, it's moisture proof. It's just wonderful stuff. And it really was the answer to our prayers. So that was an aha moment for us where we brought it in. We did some great testing. Real wood veneer, if you put it in a glass of water, it'll expand almost 10%. It's just like a sponge. It'll just grow and shrink. This new veneer that's been treated, you put it in a glass of water, it's less than 1%. And that makes it commercially viable. So we started experimenting with it. We ran it through some very stringent lab tests at Oregon State University. Did a lot of things to it just to make sure that we were environmentally stressing this as hard as we possibly could. I don't want to go through that same experience again where we launch a product, especially with the traction that we've got now out there. We've got about 8,500 people on a waiting list for these now. So I don't want to put this out there and then have to pull 8,500 systems back. That's not going to happen. So we've been very, very cautious. And people that have followed us for the last 6 or 7 years, watching us develop this product, that's their concerns. Like, why is this taking so long? Everybody is so used to instantaneous things. They don't see the years and years behind it of R&D and hard labor and, the 10,000 things that don't work so that you can get to the one thing that does work. So we have finally, after all the testing, after real world tests, we have these prototypes that are actually on garage doors for over a year now in very high stress climates. We are commercially ready to go. And so to answer your initial question, what got us here was not the idea that we wanted to start a business and that we started looking around for things that needed fixing. We saw something that we needed fixing in our lives. We developed it. We patented it. One thing I didn't mention is that we filed patent initially early on this because I started thinking this is a good enough idea that if I can figure it out, somebody else can too. So let's get this protected first. And under some very, very good advice from some patent attorneys, we filed utility patents, and both of those utility patents are actually issued now. And so the product itself is protected. We also threw a website out there, static website, actually the one that you just showed. We're not doing any SEO. There's no branding. There's no push for that website at all because we don't have a product to sell yet. And I don't want to really start pushing that until we have something to deliver. We're kind of under promise, over deliver type of people. We don't necessarily want to sell the hype first and then sell the product. The product will sell itself. So we're excited now to get to a point to where we're seeking funding for the capital to actually go into production. And we're going to go into production in a major way. We're not going to leak this in, just do a small shop and then prove the market and do all that. We've proven the market already. We have sales underneath our belt. We've got 250 people that are actually signed up and have given us money for a pre-order deposit. Like I said, we have 8,500 people on a waiting list that just are waiting for this, and they hit us all the time. What's happening? Where are you at? So all that said and done, that's where we're at.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. That's a amazing story. You have 6-7 years of being persistent and staying on it instead of giving it up. That's a real story here. And Rick, we live in a recommendation age, and you are on this interview because of my team member, business growth advisor Shahzad Al Hassan. He recommended us to talk to us. So what would you recommend? Top 3 things as a startup owner, what things to avoid so that way they do not get stuck into a black hole? What are the top?
I see a lot of advice on sites like LinkedIn and all of these, funded.com, mostly fantastic stuff. Once in a while, I see something that just makes me scratch my head, and I hope that new founders don't look at this. That seems like the mantra now is become an entrepreneur, then go find a problem. And I honestly think that that is not the path to success. If you can't identify an issue that is a unique issue that nobody else is addressing at that point, then you really just become a Me Too site. You're just trying to carve out a small piece of a market that's already been created. Look around you and find something in your life, whether it's tech, whether it's real world products, whether it's social issues, anything like that, that really truly needs to be solved, and then dive in as hard as you can to that. If you have a passion for that, and I've been on the board for Habitat for Humanity, both at local and state levels. I love home building. I love the fact that you can create a neighborhood of people that come together. And if we can make this a much more beautiful neighborhood by putting GarageSkins on, then it just makes it more homey all the way around. Find something that you love to do and something that will truly create it, solve an issue that you have in your personal life. And that will get you 50% of the way there, because then your heart's in it. If you just look around for an issue that maybe somebody else is doing or 100 other people are doing, and you've got maybe a small different little take on it, that's not a path to success.
Okay, that's one. I need three.
You need three. Okay.
That's really great one. I need three.
Patent your idea. Patent your idea. There are millions and millions and millions of smart people that are looking at you. As you see success, people will look at you and say, I can do that, and I can do it better, and I can do it cheaper. And you know what? They're right. So if you can do something, somebody else can do it better. The only way that you can keep that, there's two different ways that you can keep that from happening. First is be so aggressive to market that you just blow everybody out of the water, and you need $50, $100 million worth of advertising backing to be able to do that. Everybody on the planet has to know exactly what you're doing right now. You can't grow into that market. If you're going to be first to market on something that's not patentable or it's not protectable, then you got to own it, and you got to own it from day one. If the second thing is look at patents, even if it's a website or something that you're doing tech-wise, make sure that there's a process patent or some sort of a technological patent that you can put behind that. Take the initial steps, talk to an attorney, go to the small business development centers. They have free attorneys that will sit and work with you and talk with you about exactly what you're doing and whether it's patentable or not. And if it is, get a provisional patent filed. It's not that much money and it's not that much time to do it. But then you can go public and you can go out and talk to people about it without worrying about somebody stealing it. So that's point two. Point one is find something in your life that you love. Number two, protect it. And number three, a mistake that we made, a huge mistake that we made. I was scared to death. Oh, it's a great idea. Don't tell anybody about it. Worst thing in the world. I should have been in everybody's face from day one, just telling everybody, this is a fantastic thing, because people love community. They like coming to you. They like, helping. They may just be able to help in some small, teeny little way, but people love to help, just like you're doing with this webcast. You're helping. You're helping get knowledge out there. You're helping get people to kind of gather around and make things happen. So that would be the mistake that we made. And the third thing would be to just tell people about it. Get in the right circles. Get in the right Facebook groups, get in the right LinkedIn groups, just start talking to people about this, and people will fall in love with what you do.
That's how you got 8,500 people following you. That's how you got it.
Absolutely. And it wasn't me. We just put a Facebook site up and a website up, and people started telling each other about it. It's like, oh, where'd you hear about this? Because we always ask that question. Where did you hear about this? Yeah. Most of them are from Pinterest, and most of them is because it was shared to them by somebody else.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. It's a great, very unique challenges you faced and you shared with us. It's amazing. Yeah. So now you are successful up to a certain level, yet now you're about to hit big. How about to get to where you are right now? What are the top 3 success secrets you got?
We need the secrets that we've done. Of course, the patent was the big deal, because now we can just blast it all over the place. Are you asking about what we need now or what we've done to this point?
So far at this stage, wherever you are right now, what are the top 3 success secrets you like to share with us so somebody else can duplicate in their business, model it from your success?
Keep trying. Just keep trying, because as you mentioned, you stick with it. But stick with it doesn't mean just keep doing the same old thing. You're not still writing the same lines of code over and over again, hoping that
Yeah.
something different is going to happen at the end.
Yeah.
Look at it differently. Step back from it for a second. Take a breath. You know, think about it in the shower. Things come to you because you are in this space. You love this space. You're in this space. So things will come to you and fix things. We had a huge issue with how to get the magnets in these things. Think of these magnets are strong. If I put two magnets together and put my finger behind it, it'll break the bone. I mean, they're that strong of magnets, these rare earth magnets, and these things are thick. They're 1/4 of an inch thick. So there's a lot of magnetism coming together with these. How do you get that to stay inside a foam so that when you put it on a garage door and you pull it off, the magnet just doesn't stay there and you just rip it apart? How do you do that? Well, we were able to look at some bracket technology that's out there. And so we've actually created brackets that sit on the inside of these things that spread that load out. Like I said, I'm an old engineer. So I think in terms of, you know, vector things and all that, but it spreads the load out so that instead of pulling right here, you would be pulling over a huge amount, which makes it much easier to get it off and keep it all intact. So it's a small thing, but it's a real thing. So little issues like that come up, stay with them, take a breath, walk around the corner, look at it a different way, and you will figure out a solution to make that happen.
Mhm. So, Rick, that's amazing, great thing. So, while you are sticking to something, never giving up for 6, 7 years, and you're still working on it, it's a work in progress. How you get a support around you, especially from a family, colleague, and partners? How you keep them on board in that process? Because not everybody believes the way you believe into yourself. That's every
Well,
startup has the same issue.
yeah, absolutely. I was very fortunate that when I launched this product, I was also dating. And I met a woman that, I mean, God just provided this woman as a helpmeet to me that there is no way. In fact, if you knew the circumstances of how we met, there's no way that should have happened, but we did. We fell in love fairly quickly and we were married a 1.5 years later. She is one of the secret sauces to this business. She is highly connected in the home improvement industry. In fact, she meets with vice president levels at Home Depot, Lowe's, Macy's, Sam's Club, all of the places that we're eventually going to be partnered with. She's already there. They know her. She's on speed dial with their vice presidents. And in this tiny little town in the middle of Oregon, there is no way that I couldn't go to LA or Atlanta or New York and hire that expertise for any kind of money, especially with a startup. And yet she sees this vision and she has just been completely locked beside me the whole way. She knows how big this company can be. And I mean, she's in it right now. She's in it with a $100 million company. She drives all of the national sales for that company. And she has a team of 600 people that report through her, that actually go into people's houses and help them with home improvement projects. So it's not luck, it's God. I mean, we're firm Christians. We believe that we're going to run our company that way. We firmly believe that if you're in it for the right reasons, good things will happen. And I believe we are in it for the right reasons.
Rick, just as a side note, like a little personal note, is that lucky? Are you lucky? Or you got all that expertise from your wife for free as a guard? Something higher power given it to
It's
you?
higher power. You do the right things will happen.
So you do the right thing, the right things will happen. That's amazing thing. Rick, we are about to wrap up. Anything I didn't ask you, you want to cover it?
Well, one of the things that we're doing is we're speaking with people out there, is asking for investors to come and look at us. All of our website, we're filed as a 506c raise, and that's a fairly new thing, so a lot of people aren't familiar with that. It means that any investors have to be accredited, but it also means that we can be very open with all of the terms of the fundraise that we're doing. We're raising $1 million right now. 850 of that is going to be needed on paper, which you and I both know that if you need it on paper, then you need a little bit more in the real world. So that's why we're raising $1 million. So come to our site, GarageSkins.com. Take a look. Everything's there. The story is there. Full pitch decks, full term sheets, everything like that. And please engage. If you have any questions, any types of advice for us, I'm a first-time fundraiser and a first-time founder. I've run many businesses, but as a true founder of a business, I'm first time. I suck up knowledge as fast as it can come at me. So please reach out to us. Just come to GarageSkins.com. Our email's there. All of the information is right there.
And just to make sure everyone who is watching this, you have to be a accredited investor. If somebody doesn't know what the accredited investor mean, what that really means for some layman to understand.
It's pretty easy. There's a Wikipedia site that if you just Google that there, it'll take you to it. But it just means that your total net worth, exclusive of any equity in your primary residence, totals $1 million. Or that you have made $250,000 for the last 2 years and have an expectation of continuing that level, or $300,000 or $350,000, I believe, for you and your spouse together. So, but again, just go to Wikipedia, Google Accredited Investor, and that'll take you right through it.
And you're only accepting investments from US, or you're accepting investment from anywhere in the world?
We're open to international.
Okay, international. Okay, wonderful. So someone who someone may not be a accredited investor themselves. However, they may be able to make an introduction to you, so that way, it's you or you know of someone that we will live in that world. So if someone makes introduction, so would you compensate to that person who introduced you, or are you just like a?
There's legalities around that to certain percentages and all that kind of stuff. We don't, but like I said, you do the right thing, the right things will happen. So if somebody were to bring somebody to us, we would make sure that they were part of the success of the company.
Wonderful. They are part of the success of the company. Thank you so much, Rick. As we are about to wrap up, what would you say to the final word?
Just thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share our story. And thank you for what you do for everybody out there. These wonderful books that you've published, the websites that you have. It's a labor of love. I'm sure it had to have started out as a labor of love for you. Hopefully you found success at it. It looks like you have, but we just really appreciate you having us on.
So what's the final word for someone who is watching this? That's for me. The person who is watching this, what's the final word for them?
Come look. Come to GarageSkins.com. Check us out. See what you think. If nothing else, if you like the product, sign up on the waiting list. Those things gather momentum, and they speak volumes to potential investors that there's actually a really market out there for this.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much, Rick Medlen, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Show and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Wishing you good luck and all best wishes.